sunlight, and then there's a bunch of other biochemical steps in melanin. So there's this beautiful relationship between light, dopamine, testosterone, mating, hair color, right, and temperature, because in long days, generally it's warmer than in short days where it's cooler. So light and temperature are kind of pushing on a bunch of physiological mechanisms to make some animals want to breed at particular times of year.
Wow.
And the brake on breeding is what we talked about earlier, is melatonin. When there's very little light, you get a lot more melatonin, and it shuts down dopamine, it shuts down breeding, so melatonin, you want it a little bit, but you don't want too much of it.
And when you're saying that light makes the brain produce dopamine, I wonder if there's long periods of rain and a lack of light, if then once you hit sunlight, you have more dopamine.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
This is, if you go to Scandinavia, I have a relative, my stepmom is Danish. You go to Scandinavia, you go to Denmark in the winter, and everyone is, some people are resilient too, but most people are a little bit, I'm not going to say clinically depressed, but everything is depressed.
Like
it's
Seattle.
darker. It's darker. People put their head down. It's cold. Days are extremely short. The spring hits, and literally people start going, or at least they did when I was in college, like women and men start going topless in the sun in the parks. People are definitely mating a lot more than they are in the winter months, even though they're drinking more alcohol in the winter months for sure. They're mating a lot more. People get spring fever. The spring fever has a biological basis. And near the equator, like the Brazilians, they're like that all year long.
Right.
I have a lot of Brazilian friends, so I realize they're...
Yeah, I do as well. I was thinking about this because I went to Prince of Wales Island, which is, I think, the rainiest spot in North America. And we were there for a week. It was crazy how much it rained. It rained every single day, except for a few hours. We were able to start a campfire one day. When I came back to L.A., and of course it was sunny because it's always sunny in L.A., and I called my friend up. I go, dude, I don't know what's going on. I've never been happier in my life.
Exactly.
I am so
That's a dopamine
happy.
surge.
Yeah, it was a surge. Like I was on a crazy drug. I'm like, if you could keep this high all the time, like what a wonderful world it would be.
Well, there's another hormone that's super cool that actually that people are now abusing, unfortunately, which is called a melanocyte stimulating hormone. A melanocyte is a kind of cell basically that creates pigmentation in the body, makes you go tan. And melanocyte stimulating hormone is in the pituitary, and when you get sunlight, you release this melanocyte stimulating hormone. It makes your skin tan it actually causes pigmentation, not by tanning because it burned your skin a little bit, browning you. The melanocytes are darkening your skin from the inside.
Does it protect you from the sun as well?
It does. It does.
So you can take this melanocyte, achieve a tan?
Well, so melanocyte stimulating hormone does two things. It causes pigmentation, and it reduces appetite. So who are the two people? What's the one group on this planet of people that want to be tan and reduce their appetite?
Hoes.
Bodybuilders.
That's what I was thinking too, to be honest with you. Not bodybuilders.
Insta hoes. Come on, man.
Bodybuilders
Of
take
course,
something
them
called there's this whole world of peptides that we should maybe that the peptide world is blowing up.
I would love to talk to you about peptides. Let's get into that next.
So melanocyte stimulating hormone has a name. There's a peptide that's sold called Melanotan. Melanotan has three major effects, which is why people are now taking it / abusing it, etc. Which is it makes you tan. You don't have to stand in the sun. It just because it mimics this pathway makes you tan. It reduces your appetite. And it gives people almost hair trigger erections that last hours.
Cut to me 3 weeks from now.
So you're talking about this effect, or I talked about this effect in Scandinavia of sunlight comes out, people have dopamine, they have also melanocyte stimulating hormone, they're not as hungry, they want to have sex a lot. That's MSH. Alpha MSH is the molecule. So
you can buy this stuff?
People buy it.
Where do they buy it?
Well, okay.
You got a store you
now
go to?
we're getting into.
Look at these people.
Now we're getting into.
They're taking it. What's going on with her face though? That's fake tan, bro. She's got chocolate body.
Photoshop. I am definitely not suggesting people play around with these things.
Well, I am because I want to hear your stories.
So,
so that's what these guys are taking. Sunless tanning, nasal spray. Wow.
So he's probably doing this spray, but yeah, it can bypass the blood-brain barrier through the nose because the neurons of your olfactory bulb are part of your brain. They sit right here.
Getting crazy boners too. That's why he's got that piece of paper over his wood.
So it's
Look
a common.
At the second picture.
So
he's got the paper forward and right above the crotch.
Yeah, I don't want to push people towards any particular sites because but
that's fine. But I will. You tell me what to say.
So I've never. Oh man, so peptides are very interesting. So
Oh, you got off the melanocytes real quick. I
yeah,
see.
no. So melanocytes are a peptide.
What's the negative side effects of this stuff?
I don't know. Nobody really knows.
No negative side effects.
Well,
how about that? One of the smartest people I know says, "Go for it."
So
no side effects, in quotes, Andrew Huberman.
No.
Next Instagram ad. There's going to be a picture of you with a stethoscope on. You don't even have one. They'll Photoshop your head on a doctor, some scrawny-ass doctor,
I'm not putting it online, but this might not be real as a potential side effect.
That's
it's from Reddit, so
yeah.
who knows?
So
Reddit
there-
user claimed to inject themselves with Melanotan to get a dark tan.
yes,
What?
he went too far.
Oh my God, is that real?
That's part of like, it could just be that guy putting people on Reddit to get.
Well, that would be
internet
a real
points.
problem with some of these crackpots that think they're transracial,
Well, they take.
right?
Well, they're taking.
He's going on someone's lips,
So
too.
no one really knows how much of this stuff to take. That's the issue. It's all worked out by these, bodybuilding communities.
Reddit
right?
sub-thread.
Right. Exactly, the internet. So what's incredible is melanotan. There are sites online where people can just look for peptides, and you can buy these things, and it will say not for use in animals or humans, but people are buying them and they're injecting them. Let's be honest.
But what is it used for then? It's not for use in animals
Exactly.
and humans.
And so I've never taken.
Oh, is that real?
I-
White German model claims she's well on her way to becoming a black girl now that she's undergone a series of tanning injections to darken her skin, and somehow has convinced an African hairdresser to give her black textured hair. That is crazy. Is that real?
Yeah, it also could be a tabloid, but I feel like I saw this a couple years ago.
But
and it
here's the
might
thing,
be-
Well,
man.
melanotan is darkening the skin from the inside.
I have vitiligo, so I have these spots. You can see it on my knuckles.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I'm a white guy for this, because if you're a black person, it's very, like, if I had really dark skin, you could see it.
When did
very
that start?
clearly. I really didn't see it until I was in my 20s. And I arrested it. I had it for quite a while, and then it stopped advancing because of vitamins. Initially, that was the big thing. And then I started doing UVB treatments and a bunch of different things. And now it just doesn't get worse, but it doesn't get any better either. And the one thing that actually did help it, which is odd, well, because I only did it for a month, was the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet, I started noticing like some of my white spots were filling in.
That could be downstream of dopamine. And not everything leads back to dopamine, but many things do. Because things like dopamine are basically a kind of a trigger for a menu of a bunch of other things, of testosterone or estrogen, primarily in females, but also for motivation, for sexual behavior, for drive, for tan, for pigmentation and these